I got a little paragraph I'm going to read here. Due to COVID, to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic this year, T.I.P. Rural Electric is having drive-through annual meeting again instead of meeting together inside the BGM auditorium in order to help protect our employees and our members. We appreciate your understanding and hope next year things will be back to a more of a normal setting that we all can meet together again. With that, I will now call to order the 83rd annual meeting of T.I.P. Rural Electric. We will now have our Secretary Treasurer, Ron Hoffman, certify that we have a quorum.
Yeah, it is certified we have a quorum. We have 222 votes, which is very good. I think that's one, Terry, isn't that right? One less than we had last year. That's very good. Consistent. Yeah.
Thanks, Ron. And he's still standing here. At this time, we'll have the reading and notice of the meeting by Secretary Treasurer Ron Hoffman.
No, I don't care. This is rather lengthy this year. The annual meeting of the members of T.I.P. Rural Electric Cooperative annual meeting will be held at the BGM Schools campus located at 1090 Jackson Street, Brooklyn, Iowa, 52211 at 8 a.m. on August 28th, 2021 to take action upon the following matters: the reports of officers, directors, and committees, the election of 3 directors of the cooperative for a term of 3 years, to vote on proposed amendments to the Articles of Incorporation as recommended by the Board of Directors. The complete text of the proposed amendments have been previously mailed to the members, and all other business which may come before the meeting on or any adjournment thereof. You are urged to attend this meeting via the drive-through process this year so that we can satisfy our legal quorum requirements and to allow our members to participate in this very important annual meeting process. To satisfy the quorum requirements for our annual meeting, we are asking that members participate again this year by way of driving to the annual meeting site, where cooperative staff will be present to receive a member's registration for the annual meeting, and also providing a ballot and voting process for the director election and proposed amendments to the Articles of Incorporation as is recommended by the Board of Directors. Following the collection of the ballots in this manner, a continuation of the annual meeting will take place for purposes of counting of ballots with respect to the director election and voting on the proposed amendments to the Articles of Incorporation, and receiving reports of officers, directors, and committee persons. I told you it was long. Due to the ongoing pandemic, the attendance at the annual meeting will be restricted to our nominating inspectors of election committee members, officers, and directors. In order to memorialize and document the holding of this annual meeting, the meeting shall be recorded and made available following the annual meeting for viewing by the cooperative's member via the annual meeting page on our website. The decision to hold the annual meeting in this manner this year is being made with the health and safety of all our members and employees in mind. We are optimistic that next year we'll be able to have a meeting together again. And this was dated August 1st, 2021 by Ronald Hoffman, Secretary.
Okay, Ron. Excuse me. Thanks for that report. We will now have the readings of the minutes of the annual meeting held August 29th, 2020, unless we have a motion from the floor to waive the reading of these minutes. Do I have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Have a motion, how about a second? Got a motion made and second to waive the reading of the minutes of the previous annual meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion has passed. Now we will hear from Treasurer's report from Ron Hoffman.
This was the minutes. A lot of times I give a story. I guess you call it a story, a joke or something at this time, but today I would just like to remember our soldiers in Afghanistan. And I'd like to pray for them and their families and hope that this situation gets taken care of. Okay, we'll go on with the balance sheet. Our assets is $34,623,573. Our other property and investments is $6,166,876. Current assets, $4,740,275. And then we have deferred debts of $86,115, which gave total assets in the company at $45,616,839. I'm just not used to these big figures. Liability, long-term debt, $17,389,109. Current liabilities, $2,383,000. Deferred credits, $316,102. Equity, margins in equity, $25,908,245. And that gives us total liabilities and equity at $45,616,839. Then we have the income statement. Operating revenues, $15,045,489. And operating expenses, $8,662,840. Interest expense, $852,953. Depreciation and taxes, $1,550,265. Operations and maintenance expense, $1,846,119. Operations and maintenance. Did I say that? I don't think so. $1,846,119? Yeah, I did. Operation and maintenance expense.
Office
What?
expense, Ron.
Huh?
Office expense is where you're at.
Yeah, oh, okay, office expenses. $1,490,189. I can really read it, but my glasses are really not wild today. Miscellaneous expense, $367,157. And the total expenses was $769,543. Our operating margins was $275,946. Non-operating margins, $547,786. General and transmission capital credits, $734,819. Other capital credits, $110,519. Total operating and non-operating margins was $1,669,070. That takes care of that.
So at this point in time, we need a motion to approve the treasurer's report. I have a motion. A second, any place? Get a motion. So I have a motion made and second to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion has passed. So at this point in time, thanks, Ron. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce our current board of directors. I'm Gene Van Ozen. I'm the current board president representing Iowa County. Annie Axmere represents Keokuk County as our vice president. Ron Hoffman represents Keokuk County also as our secretary treasurer. Jerry Henning represents Poweshiek County is our assistant secretary treasurer. James DeSchmidt represents Iowa County. Randy Upaw is from Tama County. Craig Stallman represents Iowa County. Jim Hines represents Tama County. And Lee King represents Poweshiek County. And I'm just going to say, I know it goes without saying, if you have a chance, tell these guys their work and time is greatly appreciated. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our co-op attorney, Mark Adams. Mark is of the firm of Wasker, Dorr, Wilmer, and Coulier in West Des Moines. Mark will be conducting the election of officers. Mark, welcome to our annual meeting.
Thank you, Gene. Good morning. Briefly, I've been asked to explain the election process as I've done in other years. As I've told you in the past, under the Cooperative's articles, there's a 9-person board of directors with 3 directors coming up each year for election. So in other words, the board has staggered terms so that we don't have more than 3 coming off in any one year. Each director represents the geographic territory as follows: 2 from Keokuk, which includes Mahaska, Wapello, and Jefferson counties; 3 from Iowa County, which includes Johnson, Benton, and Washington counties; 2 from Poweshiek, and 2 from Tama County. Nominees for board positions are selected by a nominating committee consisting of 6 cooperative members, with 2 committee members from each geographic area with an open position for a director. It's my understanding the nominating committee met on June 28th of this year. At this time, I would call the nominating committee chairman, Kevin Klein, to come to the podium and give his report and provide the list of candidates this year.
Good morning. I'm Kevin Klein, chairperson of the 2021 Nominating Committee. The Nominating Committee met on June 28, 2021 at the offices of the Co-op in Brooklyn. Members of the Nominating Committee include the following: Donald Neese, James Tice, Tony Upaw, Don Weirman, Tom Greer, and myself, Kevin Klein. The members of the committee reviewed the Cooperative's bylaws and policies regarding the nomination and election of directors. After considerable discussion, the following names were nominated to be placed on the ballot for the 3 director positions this year. Those names are Iowa County, James DeSmit, unopposed. Tama County, Randy Upaw, unopposed. Poweshiek County, David Lee King, George W. Klein. This completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. This year, as you know, the ballots have been handed out to members who've registered at the meeting through the drive-through process. As in the past, the ballots list nominees, and members are to vote for one director from each county or district that has an open position. The nominating committee has acted as the inspectors of the election and have tabulated the votes. And once completed, there will be a report here shortly as to the results of that vote. In addition, as previously mentioned, the board of directors are recommending this year five principal proposed amendments to the Cooperative's Articles of Incorporation. The articles are over 80 years old, and as you can imagine, over the course of time, changes need to be made in order to stay compliant with current law and really just to keep us in the 21st century moving forward. Those amendments include the following: removing the $5 membership fee, updating the policy for allocating and paying patronage dividends to members as permitted by law, changing the required percentage of membership approval for amendments to the Articles of Incorporation from the current 75% to what is consistent with Iowa law, which currently is 66 2/3%. For adding a dispute resolution process via mediation or arbitration. And 5, various amendments updating the Iowa Code references, along with updating the articles to read in a gender-neutral manner. Members will need to check the yes box or no box on the voting for or against those amendments, the complete text of which has been previously submitted to the members for review. As mentioned, the current articles require 75% of the members voting to approve on these amendments. I will now turn the meeting back to your president to have the election process or results reported.
Thank you, Mark. I guess now we'll have the nominating committee chairperson, Kevin Klein, come forward and give us the results of the election of officers, if he would do that.
The duly appointed inspectors of the election at the annual meeting of members of the T.I.P. Rural Electric Cooperative held this 28th day of August 2021 do hereby certify that the election of director was fairly and impartially conducted. At this review, the votes of the members by ballot and counted the votes cast. We further certify that the following persons were duly elected as director to hold office for a 3-year term. Iowa County, James DeSmit. Tama County, Randy Upaw. Poweshiek County, David Lee King.
Well, thanks, Kevin. Congratulations to the re-election of directors. We will now have Mark Adams come forth and give us the results of the proposed amendments to the Articles of Incorporation.
I've been provided with the results of the voting on the proposed amendments, which require 75% approval by the members voting. There were 206 yes votes, 15 no votes, which calculates to be a 93.2% vote in favor of the proposed articles of amendment. They stand approved. And that concludes the election process.
Okay, Mark, thanks a lot for those reports. At this point in time, I proclaim the 83rd Annual Meeting of TIP, Rural Electric Cooperative adjourned. Thanks for your participation.